let you go. I'll hold you forever. Oh baby, I'ma let you know that we belong together. We belong together.
It's very easy to see why Colleen is so wonderful when you know her family. It's hard to imagine a group of people who love and support each other as much as the Fergusons do. And I'm sure Dan is aware by now how lucky he is to not only call Bean a family, but to call the Fergusons family as well. I met Colleen in the summer of 1995 when my family moved in across the street from hers. I can remember that day very vividly. I can remember MJ and my mom spotting each other from their respective driveways and bringing their daughters into the center of Newman Ave North to meet. I can still remember MJ saying, "Colleen is just so happy to have a girl in the neighborhood." Even at 8 years old, Colleen was a vision. I very quickly decided I wanted to be just like her.
Best friends know all the places that their best friends go. And every time you go away, I never wanna say goodbye. So we take it slow, let the seeds of love beneath us grow, till the day that we both knew we're never gonna say goodbye.
So Piercy, he's an Aussie boy, as you know, so he spent most of his teenage years and young childhood eating Vegemite, drinking Fosters, riding around on kangaroos. So Piercy and I met, we're about 14 years ago, and I met Bean just about 4 years ago when we first moved over to the States. Back at university is when Piercy and a bunch of all these guys met. We was back in Melbourne. We were just basically a bunch of country bumpkins that had moved to the city and were trying to work out how to make our way in life. We lived together. We got this famous house we lived in up on Berkeley Street. We also had this famous pet at his house in Berkeley Street. It was an exotic animal. It was half a monkey and half a dog. And it was called Dog Monkey. And years later, though, we realized it was just a possum. We were just drunk a lot. Since those days, Pierce and I have been best mates. We travelled overseas together. He was the best man at my wedding. He was the first person to call me when my daughter was born. You know, he's always been there for me as a great mate.
Oh my God. Stop crying, it's okay. Okay, do you want to give it to me? Okay, good.
This was Colleen's grandmother, was the great-grandmother, and this was my mother's, and I'm wearing it now.
You're crying now.
I'm never gonna let you go. I'll hold you forever. Oh baby, I'ma let you know we belong together. We belong together.
Are you told? Yeah. Wow. Oh, that's amazing.
That makes the system feel right now.
said this about Dan: I love you for you. I know you for exactly who you are, and I know that you accept me for who I am. And every day, I feel your kindness, your thoughtfulness. You're so hardworking. You always make me laugh a lot. You're really the most kind and hardworking person I've ever met. And then she looked at me and then looked back at Dan and said, and you're going to be such a good dad. We're partners in this, and you're really a good one. And then I asked Dan about Colleen. I've never met anyone like her. She's the epitome of kindness. She seems to have time for everyone. She's just so generous. If everyone was like Bean, we'd all be all right. She has a very calming presence. She's unbelievably modest, and she's the person that I've been trying to be ever since I figured out who I wanted to be. I, Colleen.
I, Colleen.
Take you, Dan.
Take you, Dan.
To be my husband.
To be my husband.
And I promise to be true to you.
And I promise to be true to you.
In good times.
In good times.
And in bad.
And in bad.
In sickness.
In sickness.
And in health.
And in health.
And I will love you.
And I will love you.
And honor you.
And honor you.
All the days of my life.
All the days of my life.
I, Dan.
I, Dan.
Take you, Colleen.
Take you, Colleen.
To be my wife.
To be my wife.
And I promise to be true to you. And I promise to be true to you.
I promise to be true to you.
In good times.
In good times.
And in bad.
And in bad.
In sickness.
In sickness.
And in health.
And in health.
And I will love you.
And I will love you.
And honor you.
And honor you.
All the days of my life.
All the days of my life.
Dan, Colleen, you've authentically and beautifully declared your consent before God, before us, and to each other. May the Lord in His goodness strengthen your love and your consent, and what God has joined, let us not divide.
Colleen,
take this ring
take this ring
as a sign of my love
as a sign of my love
and my faithfulness.
and my faithfulness.
In the name of the Father,
In the name of the Father,
the Son,
the Son,
and the Holy Spirit.
and the Holy Spirit.
Amen.
Amen.
Dan, take this ring
Take this ring
as a sign of my love
as a sign of my love
and my faithfulness.
and faithfulness. In the name of the Father,
The Son,
the Son,
and the Holy Spirit.
and the Holy Spirit.
Amen.
Blame me from the start. It's blameless love. I'm so curious. Admit it. What if we had never learned?
May the peace of Jesus always be in your hearts, and not just in your house, but in your home, a place where all will be welcome at your table. And may you have true friends who will stand by you, both in times of joy and sorrow. May you always be ready and willing to help and comfort those who come to you in need. May you always find happiness and satisfaction in your work. May daily problems never cause you any undue anxiety, nor the desire for earthly possessions dominate your lives. But may your heart's first desire always be each other, the good things waiting for you in this life and in the life to come. And may this blessing of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit come upon you and all of us forever. Well, it's my pleasure to introduce for the first time as husband and wife, Mr. and Mrs. Dan and Colleen Pierce.
And my doorbell rings, and it's Colleen in tears. She thought something had happened to me. She never got that text and had been calling me all morning. And I say that because not a lot of sisters would drive across town to see if their brother was all right. And that's the type of sister I've had my entire life.
Hey Peter Pan, put your sword away. It's time to be a man. Turn and face the day. Here's to that man you've become. And here's to that boy you once was.
You know, as father of the only daughter, you're a little protective. So I think about, what kind of man would I want my daughter to marry? Somebody, it's obviously going to have to be intelligent, going to have to be hardworking, thoughtful, kind, and Dan's got that in spades and more. But when I had the opportunity to meet Dan's family and some of his best mates, it was very obvious to see why he became the wonderful young man that he is. We are so proud and so happy to have Dan as part of our family.
I want to thank you for loving my friend so truly and for being the man she deserves. I love you both very much and wish you all the happiness in the world.
Finally, to Pierce and Bean, you are the closest friends people could ask for. You're someone we could always depend on. It's someone I wish to have the greatest happiness in life and with your family.